Hello everybody, look at the sky. Little clouds early in the morning, and I'm going to be talking with you about my embodied language. And of course I have a message today, a message which I could only have at this moment, a message which I didn't have yesterday and I will not have tomorrow. And that message is that you can be who you have always been, and yet you couldn't be it because you haven't taken the time, you haven't let your attention go to your language which either fits with your experience or it doesn't fit. And so the mismatch between your experience and your language, it's the problem of every human being. And yet we all want to talk with each other about that, but not with ourselves. And yeah, unless you are going to do that, try it out. Unless you are just really talking out loud with yourself and taking the time to do that, to just be by yourself alone, so that you can speak in the way that you want to, in the way that only you can, in the way that you will easily be capable of, if you just give yourself permission to do it. Yeah, so you sound different when you talk with yourself. You know that when you speak with yourself and you say what matters to you. Why are you, I don't know, I'm just saying, like, why are you doubting? Why are you having questions? Why are you worried? Why are you unhappy? Or why are you, I don't know, upset? Anything. You just talk with yourself. If you do it, you'll hear, this is what you have been avoiding. You have been busy with other people. You have not been busy with yourself. And then when you are, you suddenly realize, oh, that feels good. That sounds good. Oh, look how beautiful the clouds. They turn a little red right now. I just love that early morning feeling. So, are you going to do it? Are you going to finally do it? Give yourself permission to do it. Convince yourself that it is okay to do it, because you need a little convincing also. Oh, look at that. I love that red. And it's only there for a little bit, you know, the red sky like that. Look at that. Oh man. when you do it, you do yourself such a great favor. Yeah. And so nobody tells you that you need to do this. I'm not telling you that you need to do this. You're not telling yourself that you need to do this. No, you are capable of doing this. You are your own boss. You are your own friend, your own captain. Yeah, you are in charge of your life when you speak with yourself. And that is such a delight, such a mastery, such a sense of happiness, which cannot be acquired in any other way. Just look at the sky here. Whoa. Yeah. Woo, sunrise over the mountains. Yeah. So I'm doing it every day. And why do I do it? Well, I just do it because I enjoy it, and it doesn't cost me anything. You know, nothing is lost. Actually, I always feel like I'm gaining when I'm talking. I mean, like right now, I'm talking with myself, of course. Yeah, I am, and although I make this video for you, or I make this video for I post it, and so you can hear it. But I make it for myself, of course. I like to do this. I got used to doing this, and yeah, this beautiful sky. Oy, oy, oy. I love it because that's all part of this conversation. Did you know that? And I really like that sense that. Whoops, let me just take off my glasses here. Oh, I got it. Hold on a second. Oh, sorry. This thing that is... oh, shoot. I gotta attach the string to my glasses again. It sometimes comes off, you know. Here we go. Because right now I don't need to wear I don't need to wear these glasses. Yeah. What was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. It doesn't matter. Look, that's the freedom of speaking with yourself, that you can just talk about whatever it is that you want to say. And there is no need for any particular topic. And there's no need to even to do this. I mean, if I didn't want to do this, then I didn't do it. And there are days that I don't feel like doing this, and then I don't do this. So, and who knows, maybe one day I completely quit. That's possible. But I haven't felt that way. As a matter of fact, I spent many years studying psychology, and during these years of psychology, I wasn't making any tapes, or I wasn't really paying much attention to this anymore, because I was having the illusion that by studying psychology, I became part of this world of academics. I became part of this world of people who are all into this. Well, that turned out to be totally false. That turned out to be a big disillusion. That turned out to be a big nightmare. Yeah. People in psychology, yeah, psychologists, therapists, psychiatrists, they are not at all interested in this. Isn't that something? So this was the reason why I even went into studying psychology. And so I studied psychology for many, many years, read all these research papers, studied behaviorism, behaviorology. I was ferociously reading all the research, looking for evidence to support this phenomenon, this phenomenon which I call embodied language. And I found ample references to what I was referring to. And I found everything that I needed to feel confirmed in the fact that yes, this is important, this is great, and everybody basically should know about this. But my ambition to achieve this PhD wasn't as strong as I believed it to be, because my tendency to have this was stronger. And I would say to all the world's psychologists and to all the world's psychiatrists, go fuck yourself. Because you haven't paid any attention to this. And this is why I have it and why you don't. And this is why I am my own master. I speak on my own authority about this. I don't need your approval. There has been no committee, no PhD committee that had wanted to hear my presentation about embodied language. No, they're just not interested. They are interested in all kind of academic bullshit, but they're not interested in having the conversation in which they themselves begin to have embodied language. Isn't that something? Yeah, that's what I found out. And it was a harsh crash in the sense that I invested so much money, so many years in studying this, preparing myself. I almost had achieved a PhD, and I was working on my dissertation, and I had advanced to candidacy. I was a candidate, PhD candidate, and doing my clinical hours. But the bottom line is, I basically gave up on this whole project of achieving this PhD. I mean, I can talk about it in many different ways, of course, but this is the way I would speak about it now, is that I gave up on it because I couldn't give up on this. That's why. So once again, all you psychologists, Palo Alto University, Chico State, California State University, Chico, go fuck yourself, all of you assholes, all of you asshole teachers, professors, academics. You are all too arrogant, too dishonest, too fearful, just like everybody else, to have this. Because you could have already a long time ago understood that this is important. To have embodied language like I speak is important. And to understand that this is totally, completely different from the disembodied language that we're all having, that we're all used to, that we're all imprisoned by, that we're all troubled by. You should have acknowledged, if you had any integrity, if you have any sincerity, any honesty, you should have already acknowledged that this is what everybody needs. But you haven't. And so you're just a bunch of cowards. And I am here to tell you. And as long as I live, I will say the same thing. Because this is the reality, the harsh reality that I've lived through. Yeah, I was very ambitious. I was very motivated, very eager to, I don't know, to jump through all the hoops and to pay my dues. Yeah, because I had to jump through many hoops, and they basically put you through hell if you want to get your diplomas in psychology. What an ordeal that is. My goodness. What a torture. In any case, I've endured all that. I've survived all that. Actually, I got sick in the way. Sick from all the stress and all the rejection and all the negativity that I was feeling. Because I'm a very sensitive person. And I felt that, oh my gosh, these people are just so pretentious. They are just so nasty, so ambitious. How can that be? I couldn't for the life of me. I didn't want to believe that this is what the world of psychology is really like. What a bunch of creeps. In any case, there's all sorts of, assholes, creeps and idiots in the field of psychology. I didn't really make any friends. Isn't that something? I mean, look, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a negative person. I'm a totally positive person. And yet, I did not make any friends in the field of psychology who have sort of just, began to listen to themselves, like I suggest, and talk with themselves and hear their own sound and sort of acknowledge, like, yeah, you're right. I can have embodied language instead of disembodied language. Yeah, none of them. And it wasn't for the fact that it's not that I didn't talk about it. It's not that I never stopped, but as I was saying, and it's kind of coming back now, of course, in this whole process of being busy with psychology, studying it, working for many years in mental health, I did all kind of work in mental health with the most terrible crises and the most terribly abused people and the most terribly, traumatized people, really severely mentally ill, what they call severely mentally ill, which means people that are completely lost in their psychoses and in their stupor. Yeah, they're completely medicated. They're completely, institutionalized. They've been hearing the same story that they are mentally ill. No, you're not mentally ill. You have a particular behavior which is occurring at the rate that it does because that behavior is reinforced. It's just as simple as that. Nobody wants to acknowledge this, that a behavior only occurs because apparently if it happens at a high response rate, something must be reinforcing it. Yeah. And so to decrease a certain behavior involves identifying the antecedents, so to speak, what precedes that behavioral response, which triggers that response, and also what happens after that behavior, what is the postcedent consequence due to which that behavior occurs more likely in the future. Yeah, this is just 101 behaviorism, and it's astonishing that nobody is interested in this. Because how could I have this behavior that I'm talking about here right now? There's only one way in which one can have this behavior. You may not believe this, but if you know about the laws of human behavior, and there are laws, behavior is lawful, like I was just saying, if these stimuli are available in the environment for you to begin to respond in that way, and if these consequences, these reinforcing consequences are there, which makes these responses more likely in the future, that behavior is going to occur at a higher response rate. And that lawfulness, yeah, you may want to be in denial about it and blame a person for having a particular response. But if, let's say, that environment, if that family, if that society, if that work situation is not any different, then people are going to be having those responses. And so, me being an academic for all these years, and me being in this academic environment, yeah, I was having my responses to that. And basically, yeah, I mean, you know, I'm reminded of something that I take a little sidestep here. I'll come back to this topic again, but it's also so illustrative of my MO, my modus operandi, and it has always been like that. It's the story of my life. You know, at a younger age, I was into acting, or so I believed, because I had an uncle who was an actor, and so that uncle actually, I felt he liked me at some point, and took me with him to the studios where he was making his what was it? I was recording something for some TV program or something. Anyway, it was exciting for me as a kid to be, you know, to go with him there. And hey, good morning. And so I believed I wanted to be an actor too. I had been in some, I had been in a show. You know, a show at school. You know, at school we were performing a musical, and we were performing a musical, and I had a role in that, and we also did some other stuff. And anyway, I took a liking in some acting, and sort of like, I don't know, the whole magic of the theater attracted me. I went to many performances when I was younger, alone, as well as also with this particular uncle of mine. Anyways, that was just something at some point I did some classes, and I ended up in acting school. and I was a year in acting school. But it was, of course, a total disaster. Because I had already been traveling, and I had already been, I don't know, doing my own thing, so to speak. In any case, there was a situation in which I had to, I don't know, I had to sort of rehearse some sort of scene. And this teacher, who was a total jerk, these teachers, oh my gosh, I have only been able to learn from teachers who were kind to me. I've never been able to learn anything from teachers who were not friendly towards me. But in any case, this guy was a total jerk, and his name was Franklin Lafour. What a motherfucker you were, Franklin Lafour. I hope you hear it. I still remember his name because he was some sort of celebrity there. What a moron. In any case, he made me do something, and he was sort of micromanaging whatever it is that I was doing or wanted to do. and he noticed my resistance, and he says, you seem to, I believe, I don't know, maybe I'm paraphrasing, but it's a long time ago. You don't seem to want to do what I am telling you, or something like that. I said, no, you're right. I don't. He said, well, why are you here? I said, well, I don't know. How to become an actor, of course. He says, but it doesn't seem like you want to be here. And I said, well, thank you. You're hitting the nail on the head. I don't. and I just left. And that was the end of my acting aspiration. After a year of acting school. Yeah, what a great ordeal that was. Anyway, that was acting. And yeah, okay. I had done it, and I felt like I had to, or I felt like that's something I could do or something. And so that one fell through. I didn't feel anything was lost. It was more part of my own process of exploring who I am and exploring the world. So, you know, in retrospect, it was all good. I have had that interest, which later then translated into an interest in psychology. But in any case, going back to my ordeal with my academic situation, while I was doing this PhD, it became very clear to me that my inspiration, my motivation, and I was very motivated. I got good, how do you say that? Good grades. I was very motivated. I was studying very hard. I was on my way to having a PhD. And, but, you know, they forced me to work on my dissertation and to basically forget about my own research topic, even though they had promised that I could choose my own research topic, which turned out to be false. So they basically betrayed me and made it seem as if it was totally okay for them to just say, no, you gotta follow your advisor and then do his research, and then after you're done with that, after you have your PhD, then you can do your own research. No, that was not what I was promised when I started. But okay, that is Palo Alto University for you, where they take your money and they tell you that, oh yeah, you're going to be having a really valuable degree. And well, it would have been true if it had happened that I achieved that PhD, but I quit because I felt betrayed. And I was also, in many other ways, completely ignored, denied, mistreated, disrespected. Because this, what I'm talking about here, ladies and gentlemen, this never ever got any attention from Palo Alto University, the school where I paid thousands and thousands of dollars. And yes, I took out loans and I had to pay these loans back. I don't have any loan forgiveness for that. No, I was very motivated. We even sold our house to move to Palo Alto. In any case, I was very motivated. And here I was in the field of psychology after having already worked for many years in psychology. Yeah, I had already worked in a group home. I had already been a crisis counselor. I had already been a leader of, how do you call that, classes with criminals and with all kind of people with mental health issues, dealing with them. And so I had already gotten my feet wet and had already worked for many years in psychology. And then, then it just became very clear that what I'm talking about here, I am talking about it, but nobody else is. And people who hear this, people who hear me speak with my own authority, they can't stand, they can't stand it that someone has his own authority, that I don't care in that sense so much about all these people with all their theories who are unwilling to actually acknowledge the importance of what I'm saying. Because that is my experience. I'm not lying. This is just the truth of what has happened. And And so, even though I got a Master's of Science in Clinical Psychology, and I actually have 2 master's degrees. I have a Master's of Science and a Master's of Art in Clinical Psychology. And yeah, even though I have those degrees, and even though I got the chance to teach psychology at Butte College, where I taught thousands of students every semester for many years, for 9 years, 9.5 years. And all these students I informed about embodied language. Yeah, I called it different in those days, but it doesn't matter. You know, I over time I have given different ways to refer to it. I called it back then sound verbal behavior, because I was looking at it from a behavioral perspective, which was very useful at the time to explore it in that way. But in any case, all these students enjoyed it while I was teaching, and they enjoyed my class. You can still look it up on, I don't know, Rate Your Teacher. Yeah, it doesn't, I mean, of course, people predominantly say good things about you on those websites, but okay, whatever, you know, people enjoyed my classes for the most part, and I believe I did a good job teaching. But there's no continuation anywhere. And of course, I'm just only one person. I haven't written a book. I'm not famous. I'm not established in the world of academia. I haven't produced research. No. All because I wanted to stay true to who I am. Stay true to what this is, to how this works. And I can tell you, all you assholes out there, I am proud, I am happy, I'm fulfilled, I am overjoyed that I stuck to my own inclination. And here I am riding my bicycle, having put all this stuff behind me, and I feel so overjoyed to just make a video like this. And quite frankly, I don't care whether anybody listens to me and does what I say or does what I suggest. Yeah, you can all do this. You can all speak with yourself like I do on this recording. Yeah, I mean, on this recording, I'm just talking with myself. You can do that. And you don't have to record it. You can just speak with yourself and hear your own sound. And you can sense that when you do that, you suddenly have a completely different experience of your language. Yeah, you have a different experience of your language. And to have that experience is going to change your life. It has changed my life, and it will change anyone's life who is going to do this. So I'm now here at the creek. And show you around. It's my favorite spot here, the bridge. And that bridge is really also a symbol for what this is. Yeah. All of a sudden the sprinkler systems come on here. Ay, ay, ay. I'm afraid I have to stay here for a while because because all of a sudden the sprinklers are coming on. I cannot go with my bicycle over the grass because otherwise I'll be all sprayed wet. Okay, I'll park my bicycle here for a little bit. So, yeah. What a story, huh? I couldn't have come to where I am today if I hadn't gone through all these experiences, and I'm glad that I've gone through all these experiences. And yeah, okay, I cuss out these people, I know, and it is harsh for me to do that, but you know what? People are full of lies. People are used to lying with their disembodied language. This, what I'm talking about, is embodied language. You will not find it anywhere, except here on my YouTube channel. Yeah. Nobody has any clarity about the difference between embodied language and disembodied language. I am, and I should get full credit for this. I give myself full credit for this, and if nobody gives it to me, then I'll do it myself. So, you know, at some point I also gave myself the, what was it? I gave myself my own sort of PhD. PH me. PH me. Yeah, it's about me, right? With my embodied language. PHEL. Doctor of Science with embodied language. And make no mistake, if you are ever going to explore what it is like to have embodied language, there's something more to it than just a way of talking. There's just something more to it than, I don't know, some sort of a theory which is being referred to by others, and then they have to quote your name, you know, because Mr. So-and-so said so, or Mr. So-and-so read or wrote somewhere a certain sentence, and then all of a sudden we have to all honor these people, yeah, because supposedly they have put these words together. No, they have not put these words together. I have not, you know, I find the whole idea of that people can own language, I find that, to me, that is all against freedom. And so I do not need to honor anybody for what they have said. I do not need to refer to anybody when I say what I want to say. And so anybody who is having embodied language is saying what they want to say and what they're capable of saying, and that's it. And of course, you speak the words that you have learned, yeah, because other people have taught you these words. Of course, there's no other way to know language. So do I need to talk that, when I speak with you, do I need to tell you, oh, thank you, grandma, or thank you, uncle, or thank you, pa, for, I don't know, for teaching me this language? No, I don't. And then when somebody publishes a paper or publishes a book, then all of a sudden I have to refer to this person because they publish a stupid book. Yeah, a stupid book, by the way, which creates the false impression that we're going to change our behavior, we're going to be wise, we're going to be intelligent when we read a lot of books. You know, this is one of the biggest hoaxes that academia, and in particularly psychology, has pushed on people. Yeah, psychology has pushed the false notion that books and research is going to improve human relationship. It doesn't, it hasn't, and it is never going to. Look at where we are in the world today. Yeah? Look at where we are in the world today. Be honest. We do not have embodied language with each other. We do not know how to have embodied language with each other. We could only have embodied language if we knew what I know, that, yeah, to have embodied language, one has to listen to oneself. And to have embodied language with each other requires us to stimulate each other. If we do not stimulate each other to have embodied language, we're not going to have embodied language. We are having disembodied language. We keep reinforcing disembodied language because that is what is being reinforced. So if we keep reinforcing disembodied language, yeah, then we're gonna have disembodied language. You cannot have embodied language if it is not reinforced. So this is why we don't have embodied language. It is nowhere reinforced. What I was just telling you about my adventure in academia, you know, it is not reinforced. That's what I was just so appalled about. That's what I was just so disappointed about. They should give me my money back. Palo Alto University, if anyone hears me, you should give me my money back. You have not only lied to me, but you have completely ignored everything that I'm saying. You have never taken me serious. And yeah, you should still, if you hear this, you should still, apologize basically. Or at least give me my money back, because you have taken all this money for what? For what? For me dancing to your tune, or for me jumping through your hoops, and you have not given me anything. I don't recall anybody at Palo Alto University who I respect, who I truly feel like that was an interesting person, that was a genuine academic. No, I haven't met anybody there. So here I am telling you this. Why am I telling you this? Because it is the truth. Yeah? And here in Chico, yeah, you have your mental health institutions, you have your psychiatric health facility. Yeah, that is kind of like the psychiatric hospital. There you have all your therapists and you have your psychiatrist, and across the street there is Enlo Behavioral Health with another psychiatrist, also some asshole, yeah, Dr. Abuesh, also a complete jerk, a total jerk, a total idiot man, yeah. And yeah, I cannot say otherwise. I've worked with these people. They are just mean, arrogant creeps. And they are psychiatrists, they are psychologists, they are therapists. I know many therapists. They're all creeps. They're all twisted human beings. They don't have embodied language. They are not interested in embodied language. And they should be. Because it is the language of the future. And I will continue to my last breath to say that. Because, let's face it, with disembodied language, yeah, with disembodied language, the language in which you do not listen to yourself, that is the language that you're used to. I know. I'm 65 years old. I'm not making this up. We are used to a way of talking in which we do not listen to ourselves. And that's why we disembody our language. That's why we disconnect with our language from our experience. How can it be that I'm riding my bicycle, that I can talk with you for all this time, and that I'm doing this while connecting with my own experience? That's what I do. You can hear that. Morning. And this is not just some trick. This is not some mechanism, some technique. No, this is because I know what it takes to have embodied language. I take time to have embodied language. I have done this many times, and I do it right now. This is my embodied language. You can feel it. You can experience it. You can understand it. It is not like your disembodied language in which you do not listen to yourself. Your disembodied language is always about arguing and fighting and having conflicts. I don't have any conflicts. Yeah, the conflicts for me are behind me. Yes, I was having conflicts with academics. Yes, I did. Absolutely, yes. And there was reason to have that, because they did not in any way allow this. Yeah, they pay a little lip service to this. Yeah, they make it seem as if they're all about that, and they make it seem, actually, in psychology, they make it seem as if they already know what embodied language is. No, they don't. They don't know what it is. And so that's all we're capable of with our disembodied language, is the pretension that we know what embodied language is. That's all we can do. We can only act as if we are friendly, act as if we are respectful, act as if we are interested, as if we are, I don't know, in control and quiet, when in reality we aren't. It's just a bunch of lies that goes on in the name of our disembodied language. And you are so used to it that you can't even imagine that there is what I'm talking about. And you don't need to imagine, because what I'm saying is not anything, it's not having anything to do with imagination. This is real, what I'm talking about. Yeah? So unless you have your own embodied language, it isn't real. Unless you listen to yourself while you speak, you are not having, you cannot learn from me to have embodied language. No, you learn to have embodied language by listening to yourself. And unless you do that, you will never acquire it. You haven't done it, and that's why you haven't got it. So, are you going to do it or not? That's what today's video is about. Yeah? And I don't care. I don't care. Yeah? I know very well what the situation is in the world, and I know very well everybody is arguing, everybody is fighting, everybody is at odds with each other, everybody is at war with each other. That's just the common situation, the human condition. We have disembodied language everywhere, every day, every time. We do not know how to have ongoing embodied language. Now, just to give you a good taste of it, I know I have been talking about my struggles, yeah, but I do that with a purpose, to illustrate the difference between disembodied language and embodied language. Because of course, whenever I was so interested in, I don't know, climbing the ladder of society, becoming a PhD psychologist, you know, it seemed like such a great idea, right? And I was ambitious, of course. I wanted that, and so I was also in those days having my disembodied language. Of course, everybody has disembodied language when we're doing what we have to do to get where we want to be, supposedly. Yeah, I don't do anything to get where I want to be with my embodied language. Good morning. Yeah, this whole idea, you can do it. Yeah, what is this typical America, you know, where people are behaving forcefully, yeah, coercively, where people find that strength is something to be respected. Yeah, strength and force is something so important in America's society. Yeah, that's the only thing that matters. Well, here I am, a Dutch person, yeah, who tells his version of the American dream. There cannot be for anybody, there cannot be for any American. I'm an American. I became a US citizen because I love freedom. Yeah, I love the freedom of speech. I love liberty. Yeah. I am an American and I live my own version of the American dream. And I'm telling you, my fellow Americans, but also anybody else who wants to hear this, that freedom is only true. You can only have freedom if your language is embodied. Without embodied language, there is no freedom. You just pretend to have freedom. You just believe to have freedom. You just fantasize about freedom. But you're not free with your disembodied language in which you do not listen to yourself. You cannot be free if you do not become the master of your own language. You cannot be free if you believe that your mind, your so-called mind, which is a reference to inner language, you cannot be free if you believe that there is language inside of you. There's no freedom. There's no freedom for anyone who believes that you have thoughts. Yeah, how about that? Can you handle that? Can you handle the truth of the matter that there is no language inside of you? Yeah? You ask any neuroscientist if they have ever found any word or any sentences in anyone's brain. No, there is no word, no sentence. There's no language. There's no inner speech. There's no private speech. Okay? So when you talk about private speech, you are just fantasizing about some language that goes on inside of you, when in reality there is no such thing. But the most important thing about this explanation that there is no language inside of you is that you are not free when you believe that. So your belief, regardless of what it is, regardless of what you believe, because you also believe in all kind of religious nonsense, people believe all kinds of stuff. People believe in politics, people believe in psychological theories, people believe in all sorts of stuff. People believe in religion. Your belief is against your freedom. Your freedom is not a belief. Yeah. And whatever you hang on to and whatever you keep claiming as, oh, this is so important, it's not your freedom. And so, I have to admit, of course, also that if I keep, wanting everybody to believe me and to have embodied language like I do, then I'm just like everybody else, having disembodied language. And I am human. I have also gone through the same conditioning history. And so, embodied language is everywhere. That's how we were all conditioned. But once you have embodied language, you are done with beliefs. You are not carrying on with any belief about yourself. And once you have, you could say, transcended all your belief in yourself, because that is what's going to happen with your embodied language, you are free. But you are only free without any belief of yourself. And so, you cannot say, I cannot say like, oh, I want to be important. I want to be acknowledged by everybody. No, this is not gonna work. And of course I wanted to be important, and of course I wanted to be acknowledged. And to some extent, perhaps I still want to, because, it is an old habit which may still be there in some sense. But, I know for myself that it is something that has completely dissolved, because I do not really care about my own belief or anyone else's belief. I know that what I'm telling you here, my embodied language, and this is more than just my embodied language, this is my ongoing embodied language. So I'm not just talking about a sporadic instance of embodied language, like, oh wow, wonderful, oh this is so great, oh this is such a spiritual experience. No, it's not a spiritual experience. Forget about your spirituality. It is just a totally normal everyday occurrence that anyone can have if they just listen to themselves. And you can go on with it if you keep listening, but you don't, and you have never done that. So, and there's all these other stuff that you have always used to replace this. So all your other topics which are more important than this, they seem to be more important than this, and therefore you never do this. Well, like I was just illustrating, I had to let go of my ambition, my dreams, or whatever you want to call it. But I am not interested also in that sense in the American dream. No. For me, freedom is real. For me, freedom is reality. For me, freedom is determined by my language. And other than freedom which is determined by your language, there is no freedom. So, are you going to be in charge of your own language, of your own embodied language? Are you going to be free? Yeah? Do you dare to be free? Do you dare to be without a belief of yourself? Because that's it. Yeah? Forget about your stupid ideas. Yeah? Hi there. All these stupid ideas that have had to do with your so-called freedom. Yeah? All your psychological and spiritual or philosophical, I don't know, whatever nonsense stuff that you have been regurgitating. I'm not having any of that. So, now you know. This is my ongoing embodied language, which I call my language enlightenment. Yeah. And so I have that because my language enlightenment is the inevitable consequence of ongoing embodied language. Yeah. Yeah. Morning. Sometimes people just, they can say, or they can greet you, you know, whether it's or not, or I don't know, they say hello. And sometimes they give you this weird look as if you, as if you're taking something away from them. They don't have to look at me. They can also look the other way, you know, I don't mind. So, now, I believe I pretty much said what I wanted to say, and yeah. I'm doing it. Whoops. I wish, it's funny, I wish I had something more to say, but I've run out of things to say now. And you will come to that point too, where this blissful silence just descends on you because you have really said what you wanted to say. That's wonderful. And I feel this sense of energy. It's a high. It's a high. It really is. It's a delight to have your own language. It's such a victory, such an accomplishment. Yeah. And no, you don't get it from anybody. It's not a blessing that comes from, I don't know, the beyond. No, 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 no. When your language fits with yourself, then all of a sudden it fits with everything and everybody. And those who it doesn't fit with, you just don't bother about them. Those who do not want to have embodied language with you, they are just lost causes. And you have every right to reject them. You have every right to leave them behind. Because once you have this, why would you want to continue with the world of disembodied language in which everybody is arguing, in which everybody is struggling, endlessly busy with all this negative shit, all this aggression, all this brutality, all this twisted bullshit, yeah, that they are trying to push down everybody's throat? Not with me. I'm a free individual. I'm not bothered by any of it. And yes, I choose for myself. Yes, I can choose for myself because I'm in charge of my life. I have my own language that fits with my experience. Now, that's it.